Това е Рила, една от най-старите планини на Балканския полуостров.
Тук има множество хижи и курорти, но те всички преднеят пред грандиозността на една сграда.
Хотел, който доскоро беше изоставен.
Но там сега се случва нещо.
Нещо голямо.
Един ден получихме неочакван имейл. Имейл с покана.
Съответно, решихме да приемем.
Това е Семково. Една изключително красива местност, намираща се на 17 км северно от град Белица. След последното ни посещение 2023 година, не вярвахме, че ще заварим такова нещо. Нещо, което те кара да се замислиш как би изглеждала България, ако на някой му пукаше.
Find your angles. Hello, my friends. This is a little bit of a different intro for us because currently we are in Semkovo.
We're in the biggest hotel we've been ever in this channel, the most preserved one, and we are with the owner right now.
This is Matthias. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and how you are connected with this building?
So I came to Bulgaria about 9 years ago. I started a hub for digital nomads in Bansko around the idea of co-working. So people come and they work together, and of course they also have fun and they enjoy life. And then after a while I thought it would be cool if we would not only spend the days together but also the nights. So I was starting to look at buildings where we could build a co-living. I had some ideas for Bansko, but first we had COVID there, and then we had the Ukraine war, and this was not good for like a construction because like all the materials got expensive. And I was started to look outside of Bansko, and there's many kind of underutilized buildings around Bulgaria, right? Because everyone is moving to the capital. Some people even leave the country, so there's a flight from people from more rural areas to the cities, which means there's many buildings that could become something cool. And I found this building here in Semkovo, and as I said, there's many buildings, but this building was a little bit special because...
By the way, how did you find it? I mean, on a certain website or...
I was looking around. I mean, Bansko is only 45 minutes away from here, and I was really driving around. And the first time I saw this building, there was also no guard here, right? So I didn't know how to find the owner, how can I talk with people. But I saw this building has some potential because Semkovo is a place with very little tourists, right? When they built this 30 years ago, it was built by the government for the trade unions. And of course, it's a big difference if the government invites you to come here to a building like this, or if you have to pay for it. Right, and then socialism didn't really work out very well, so they closed it down. Around 2000, they sold it to a hotel operating company that has many hotels around Bulgaria. But here, this hotel, they never kind of put it on their to-do list to renovate it, to really promote it. So they was running it for student groups for a while, and then about 6 years ago, they closed it down with no good plan what to do with it. And this, of course, also means that it became cheaper and cheaper. So when they initially wanted to sell it, they wanted 5 million. Nobody wanted to buy it, and we were able to buy it for 1.6 million. But I managed to convince a few friends. So I'm not the owner of this. I'm the chairman of the cooperative that owns this building. And the cooperative is basically everyone who is buying an apartment here becomes part of the cooperative. So it's also a community business. And I think this is a great idea for a co-living space where you want to build community. If the first community is already the community of the owners. At the moment we have 90 owners from 32 different countries. And already this community, even before operating the building, is pretty interesting, right? So you have cool people, they all have good ideas, and together we are building something in a place where nobody wanted to do anything.
We had this idea that we are going to make a tour and make before and after shots of the building and the places that we were here previously. And if you want, we can do that.
So we found some older pictures of the building, and this is a mural. So this is a carpet type of thing that they had here, and we had a guy recreate this as a graphic and printed it, and we will put this on one of the walls here.
Do you know from which year is this?
Yeah, I mean, this is 30 years old. But like all the other pieces of art that we hang around here, and kind of the expensive things are the mosaic, the wood carvings, and the paintings in the bar.
I love that this will be preserved.
And this was a group of artists from the area, like the Union of Bulgarian Artists. One of the guys is now running a museum in Blagoevgrad, and the others, some of them are still alive, but of course they're a little bit older now. So here, these are the...
This was the presentation room?
Yeah, this was a presentation room, and this is also becoming a presentation room again, but we are upgrading it, like we're putting more power outlets everywhere. We're putting HDMI cable into the floor for projection and stuff. In the building, especially in the lobby, we have lots of light. We have very clean lines. So I think back then when they built this, it was really very modern. Of course, the whole building is a little bit oppressive, right? So this is what they did in socialist times to glorify the state, and you have to feel very small.
Yeah.
And sometimes you come in here and you feel very small.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think we will brighten this up, right? So we are also renovating some areas more modern. And for us, their concept of actually having smaller rooms in the hotel to spend less time there, right? It's already built into the concept. People should not spend so much time there. They should rather come here. This is also our concept. So we want people to spend time together. So it helps a little bit to have large communal areas and rather smaller hotel rooms. So we are doing a few small changes, not like big changes, but some areas that make more sense. Like
Was this locked 2 years ago?
Yeah, no, this was open from there. So there was a wall here.
Oh, this is... Oh, okay, I get it. Yeah.
Dude, look at the lights. It looks amazing.
Pretty cool.
So this is the old library. The plan here is like we have these old library bookshelves, and the idea is we will use these to separate this into different zones. So this is going to become a quiet workspace, and this will be separated so that we have four like larger tables.
What type of people are most interested living and working in spaces like this? Are there mostly IT guys like us or something like this, or what is the personality of a guy?
So it's mostly people that can work remotely, right? So on the one hand, we have about 80% international owners, foreigners, and most of them are location independent people that travel the world. They're looking for a base, so they want to spend some time here and then some time somewhere else. Of course, if you are like a software developer, you're at an advantage doing remote jobs. But we also have people that do e-commerce, we have artists, we have translators. We have some people that are just investors that had enough success in the past that they don't longer work. So it's a broad mix of people, but what they have in common is that they can all work remotely. And then we have about 20% owners from Sofia. And these are mostly startup entrepreneurs that had a little bit of success, that want to come here on the weekends, and that said, okay, let's buy an apartment here and see what interesting community we have here. We also repainted the back in white. The problem is that from the other side, we only want to use one, right? In the past, they had two. In the future, we want to use only one for each, and we need to figure out what to do with the back to make that look a little bit nicer.
A lot of potential here.
Yes, and here this is our furniture showroom. So the owners can select from different furniture because we want the rooms to look similar. And here we ordered a lot of sample furniture. Of course, people can also buy wherever they want to buy, but the idea is we wanted to have something that's more visual, similar.
Yeah.
So there's different examples of things.
It's different when you see it in person and you get better understanding. If you
also like to feel the quality of stuff and things.
Yeah. Great.
There were hotel rooms.
In this way it goes to block A, but at the moment we have blocked all these doors that the construction guys only come from the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Because otherwise they bring all the dust and the dirt.
What about the bowling hall? Is there something planned about it?
Yes, so the building has a bowling hall. This bowling hall was never in operation. So
never?
Yeah, it wasn't assembled.
No, it wasn't assembled, so they had the original big boxes from Russia who donated this to the socialist friend, but they never assembled it, and we looked at this and it's impossible to assemble this old equipment. But we want to do a bowling alley there again, so the room is prepared for it, right? So you already have like the long channels for the balls coming back, and also it's a very long room, so it makes sense for bowling. But we will need to buy new equipment.
Yeah. Is the mini golf still here? It was like highlights to us when we first saw it.
No. So we have started to remove a lot of the furniture, a lot of the things that you saw, because we need to work on these areas, right? Some of the stuff is in storage, like the mini golf is still in storage. Maybe we reassemble it at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Other things we are upcycling. So we found some chairs that we like to upcycle, and we put like new fabric on them, painted them. Some of them look really good, but we are not keeping like all the old furniture. For example, the furniture from the rooms, this was also lower quality and it doesn't really work anymore. Here, this is some other piece of furniture that we upcycled.
Like
Yeah,
so
like
this is basically the old chairs, and these are from the bar, right? Also here we did a few things. So first of all, we painted all bases in black. We put like rotating elements and upcycled the fabric. And when you look at them, they're actually pretty cool. I like those.
They're great.
They connect you kind of a little bit to the past.
Yeah.
There is a little room which is like
the projector room.
The projector room.
Yes. So this is an area where we want to have a game room for board games and poker.
Oh, interesting.
We're going to come here.
I mean, this is a good example, right? So this was a cinema projection room, and we needed to have an area there for the projector, which was big, and then also for big film rolls, right? Which is why they needed a storage room up there. But now, a projector is basically a small box that you mount on the ceiling, and it has all the movies you can ever imagine. So you don't need storage for films, and you don't need a big
use the
projector
space for something else.
And this is with many things, also like other areas in the building. So they had like massive like laundry drums for big laundry rooms, things like this. A lot of equipment that's really, really big. And now, of course, things are more modern and it changes. Like also here, for example, the lights in the lobby area, they had like 100-watt bulbs here. And I think we changed 800 of these light bulbs.
Oh yeah.
So this is about 80 kilowatts just to light it up. Now
80 kilowatts.
Yes, just to keep the lights on. Now we replace it with 3-watt LED lights, and this is only 2,400 watts. So this is totally different.
I can't imagine the difference.
Yeah.
And the bill.
and the bill, right? So there's and this is like with many things. When we modernize things, it frees up other areas. Same with the ventilations. They had massive ventilation systems. Now the modern ventilation systems are smaller. They're more decentralized. In the past, you had like to run big pipes everywhere to a big central ventilation system. Now we have smaller decentralized systems that are more the size of an air conditioner, just more of them, which means you need to run much less pipes.
I am fascinated.
Oh, the piano is still there.
Yes, if you want to play it. We also kept all the chairs, so there's like a storage room there on the left. Like the old chairs, they're actually also pretty good because you can like reuse them.
By the way, it's very clean. How do you maintain it?
We have a team here. I mean, also we don't have too many people running through here. But we have a cleaning team that's keeping it in shape. We want to resurface the wood to make this new, and then also, of course, paint everything. But I think this is a fantastic room.
Nice.
It is so different to see it with electricity.
Yes, and this is the area where we want to put the board games and
And
poker.
the poker, yeah.
Ти обикваш криеницата, да знаеш какво става тук.
И освен да ми да не се шамбирали, да знам.
So we replaced all these old fuses with first of all new fuses, but also with a device called Shelly, which allows us to remotely control all the lights and also see the power consumption. Yeah, so here, this is the area I was talking about, right? I don't know if we brought a pocket light, but basically this is over the ceiling and you can see this was pretty high. So this is a future area that we could expand. It goes the whole lobby area.
It goes above the lobby, right?
Can you shine a light there?
Yeah, maybe if you go first, you can see it.
Yeah.
Ден 104. На пианиста му прокървяха ръцете, му продължава да свири. Идвам, че още не намеря.
Also we had some volunteers that basically researched like all the artists, so we have like labels and some of them here. Like this is tapestry I was talking about. Petco, we have like research for a lot of the other artists as well, who they are.
You said currently that there are already owners of apartments here, where they spend most of their time.
I mean,
gathering together.
At the moment, they don't really spend a lot of time because the apartments are only being renovated now. So we have finished 70 apartments out of the 225.
225 are the
Yes, 225. We have sold 175. Renovated like the first half roughly, but now we're also doing furniture orders, so we expect that people come and actually use the building in June. We did some meetups with owners and we also did some other events. So one area that I personally really like is there's a big bonfire place outside, a dedicated bonfire place with like seating around it. This is pretty cool.
We haven't seen this.
Yeah, we haven't.
In the back of the building.
Yes, maybe we have to make a fire later. Also, I love this lobby area, right? I mean, it's not very useful, but it's a lot of space. And this also gives space for ideas, right? So they didn't build this. Now, when you look at more modern buildings, every single square meter has a function. And here they have many areas that don't really have a function. It just exists. And I think this is pretty cool. It's like there's no reason why they should be here, right? So they just built this because it's cool. They didn't have a task to say, okay, you need to optimize this for rental yield and think about where can you put like a coffee shop and where can we sell some ice cream and stuff like this. But rather, let's have some areas that people can just enjoy. And I think this is also something that I like here in Semkovo because we are surrounded by nature. If you're in a city, very often there's no more public spaces, right? Everything is a private space. You need to go to a coffee shop to meet your friends, and you need to spend some money here and some money there just to exist. So this here is an old bar, and the guys have already started working on it. So the artwork is protected, and now they have started in the room below. So we will do like a catering kitchen there.
I remember when we saw this place, this bar for the first time, we were so fascinated.
The views here are just amazing.
It's
So peaceful.
It's so peaceful, yeah. What is this big yellow thing doing, by the way?
The big yellow thing is generating power for us because they said we have to rebuild the truffle station.
Yeah.
So we are currently not connected to the grid. We have solar panels on the roof. But of course the solar panels are not working well in the winter as they're covered with snow.
Is it diesel powered?
It's a diesel generator.
Yeah.
But we also have batteries, so it's like recharging the batteries basically when the solars are not working. So for like 2 or 3 hours it's recharging batteries and then it goes off.
Is it efficient, by the way?
I mean, it's not great. I would rather prefer to have grid power, but
but it does the trick. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically what we are doing here is, I mean, there's a lot of stuff stored here as well.
This was the restaurant.
Yes, but this area is gonna become like the workspace. I don't know if you can get to there from here. This is basically the plan. So the front area that was a restaurant is gonna become workspace, and the back area that was a kitchen is gonna become the restaurant and a kitchen, but a smaller kitchen. And again, as I said, because a lot of equipment is much smaller now.
Yeah.
We will have a dishwasher instead of like a big dishwashing station. We have 10 people washing dishes.
When is this planned to be ready?
30th of June. And then also what we can see here, we leveled all the floor. So this was, as I said, there was like uneven floors that we want to put carpet and tiles, so we leveled all the floors here. Yeah, so this was the kitchen, and what we're gonna do here, like this front area here, is gonna be like a coffee shop. And then the back area, where we already see some of the bricks, this is where the commercial kitchen goes. And then the whole front is gonna be like a big restaurant. And also this, I mean, this is a beautiful view, right? So they used this as a kitchen and it was pretty much useless.
So much things you had to get out of here.
And here, I don't know if you went up to this room. So
I don't remember going upstairs here.
No, we have. Oh, we have been. Okay, I remember.
Okay, I remember it too.
So here they still need to clear out a little bit. So this was all for ventilation. In the future, we will only do ventilation behind the chimney, and the front area should become like a climbing room. And this again is because now stuff is much smaller. So
do you know what is the application of this thing?
The thing on the top is a water tank. This is for pressure. So here they protected this a little bit because the workers are gonna come in on Monday, so we don't want everything else to get too dirty. So here, this is probably the area I'm most proud of. So we built a kitchen where 150 people can cook together.
I saw the pictures from here and I couldn't believe my eyes. Беше стаята с другата билярдна маса. Под бара сме.
Okay, this must have been expensive.
Everything is expensive, but if you divide it by 200 people, it gets cheaper.
Oh, yeah, probably.
So here, the concept here is we have full kitchens with ovens, and then half kitchens with hobs, and then like what we call quarter kitchens with microwaves. It's not fully done yet, we're missing a few elements. And the idea is if you want to cook with many people, then you use a full kitchen. If you just want to do a snack, you come here or heat something up. Also, every apartment will have dry storage. So you have an assigned dry storage thing, and we have enough fridges that you also have an assigned cold storage. So if you don't have a kitchen in the apartment, then this is where you would prepare. And then here in the back we have a bigger station where you can have, it's missing the bigger sink for pots and stuff. And here you have like trash bins, jutes, and then there's one freezer and then many fridges where people can do cold storage.
That's the biggest kitchen
I've ever seen. Yeah. How long did it took to get this done?
I mean, this is still ongoing. The problem is that there's not really big furniture factories here in the area, right? So we're working with local suppliers, and for them, this is a big project. So I think this has been going on for at least 4 months or so, and they come and they bring more elements, and then they go again, oh yeah, here, this is for trash. So basically here there will be a bin that comes out, you put the trash in. But of course our guys like best is the beer tap.
Oh, this is the best thing here.
We had to try this already a few times.
What is the biggest challenge that you had personally when you renovate a building, such big building?
I mean, obviously the biggest challenge was to find the first 10 buyers, right? So after the first people started buying apartments, all of a sudden everyone thought, yeah, this is a fantastic idea, and was always clear from the beginning. Yeah. But to find the first people that say, yes, we will try to do this crazy project where in the middle of nowhere we are reviving a building.
The networking part is the hardest.
So, I mean, finding people that really believe into the vision and that believe in the vision before everyone else believes in it, right? So now this is a totally different discussion. So we have sold 175 apartments. People are like, okay, of course, everyone is buying. This seems great. But this was very different for the first ones. And also all the local people, when I first came here, they were like, this is the captain of the Titanic. And after it sunk, right? So this was the conception here. Of course, now everyone believes we stole this building from them. It's always different, right? But you need to find the first followers. For construction, our biggest challenge here is in Semkovo, there's no construction people, right? So the next town is Belitz, so it's about 20 kilometers away. And this is a small town, it's only 2,000 people. And we have now about 50 guys that are doing construction here. So getting these 50 guys was difficult. So some of them are commuting from Blagoevgrad. Some of them we have apartments and accommodation in the building for workers. But it's not super comfortable, right? Because they also have families and now they have to stay here the whole week in a place where they just work. So this was a big challenge to find people for construction. Also a challenge is always to find specialists, right? Also like engineers, because I think in a rural area, normally you don't do projects like this. So we are by far the biggest building and the biggest project, and now we're the biggest employer in Belica. And it's like they don't have other projects like this, which means there's also no people that have experience with this. Even the people that are supposed to be the specialists don't really know. So we are still dealing with the electricity company, and we have hired a specialized lawyer and a specialized planner and another guy. And we are still dealing with them, and they don't really know what needs to happen, and we don't really know, and it's like takes forever. Also, the mayor of the municipality renamed the street for us to welcome us as nomads. So
we saw it.
They officially renamed the street to Nomad Place 1. But
that's a great touch.
In a small municipality, you don't do so much street naming. So it took them quite a while to figure out what is actually the legal process to now get this into the cataster and then all the registers. And then here, this is not the right furniture, but the idea is then here will also be like seating areas. So you cook and then either you eat outside or inside.
Is this the main entrance?
I mean, in the winter we closed it, right? So we said it's not the right entrance for the winter. But there's probably going to be some reception area here. Here's also where we can see, like we found pictures. So this is Mr. Bogatinov. Now he's 95, but back then he was a young guy and he was playing the drums. So this was the first manager of the hotel. And we also found like a few old pictures of what it looked like before.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, so basically we saw it in almost full authentic way.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't invest a lot, right? So this was like... Also what we did in the meantime, what we can't really see is we did the roof, right? So we put a polyurethane foam coating on the whole roof for insulation and waterproofing. And then this is a red waterproofing membrane. We also found an article in like an old architecture magazine when they built this, talking about like how the people of Belica in the world contributed to this amazing building. This was like the old ski wardrobe. It's probably also going to become the ski wardrobe before. So there was a door here, right? And then there's more storage behind where we keep like all kind of stuff. And this is basically where
storage. They were here.
The skis.
The skis were here. Yes. We kind of redid all the floor, like with all the tiles and everything.
Yes,
it looks very modern.
Was a little bit of work. And also what we did, and I can show you one of the rooms, is like the staff accommodation. So the staff quarters are a little bit smaller than the apartments, but we still wanted to do them as a reasonable quality level. So this is what...
Look at this.
This is so it's a little bit smaller, but we also wanted to do like laminate, and we use kind of the same furniture, so that it's a similar standard.
So basically this is level 1 and this is -1, or
no,
the opposite?
The ground floor is 1 and we are here on 2, and because the building is offset, it goes up to 6. But it's a little bit confusing here with the main lobby area. And so here, this is the apartments. Basically, we are done with floor 6, 5, 4, and 3. 2, we will see half done, and here, they're just about to start.
This is the starting phase of the renovation.
Yes, so basically what we did is we leveled also all the floors here. We replaced like all the old water pipes, new electricity pipes. This is internet cables, and the red cables is fire alarms. You can see this is how they do the electric installation, right? So we have a system that we put way more power outlets everywhere. Also here in this one, there's a new wall, right? So this was like these really long rooms. But for an apartment,
there were table tennis.
Yes, so for apartments they become a little bit smaller, and then we have a bathroom. This is where they have the fitness equipment here, right? So this was the fitness equipment. We are opening this wall to connect it to the next room. I don't know if you made it in there. This was also some kind of like old storage or something.
No. I think we were in that room.
So here We are closing up this door, right? We open up that door so that this becomes a bigger, nicer apartment. But they have higher ceilings, so this is 3 meters instead of 215. And also the windows are pretty big, and when all this old shit is out, they're actually pretty nice.
This was the fitness.
This was the fitness, yes. It was a very sad gym. But what we want to do, so we have a big area that's used for loading in the past, like a big garage.
Yeah.
And next to it is our trafo station, like where we have the trafos for electricity. But we are rebuilding the trafo station, so we will move this out, we will clear this area, and then we will have a very nice big sports hall engine in this area. And this should be like with modern equipment, right? With the bikes where you see on the screen where you're biking and things like this.
Yeah, yeah, the modern
So we want a proper gym.
Have we been down here?
I can't remember.
Yeah, this is like the underground tunnels.
No,
right?
we haven't been here.
So this is the underground tunnels, and we removed a lot of the heating stuff, and this is where we are running like all the new cables, and this is where like the sewage runs, and this is under the whole building. You have not been here?
No, no.
What kind of urban explorers are you?
Weak, I guess.
We were fascinated by all the other stuff.
Yeah, we were
So,
not
so
interested
this
here.
goes like through block A, block B, block C, and this is what also makes the renovation easy, because we always have like, first of all, we can run everything here, and then it goes
It's like
up,
a highway.
and then it goes up here, right? So we have these vertical shafts that go up here, and this is where the water pipes go and everything, so we don't have to break all the walls, but we can do these things here.
Were there things here? I mean, like storage.
No, this is just like a maintenance tunnel.
Yeah, okay.
But we removed a lot of the old pipes that feels a little bit more roomy now. And this is where also we run all the new stuff.
And it's very long.
Very long, yeah.
I mean, it goes under the whole building. So this is... Now this is the second level, right? So they're here more done with the renovation. They still have to do a few things, but also a lot of the units have electricity done. In some of them, they put the laminate already here, it's missing.
Yeah.
Working on the doorways. Yes, yes. So in principle, the renovation here is complete. And here the guy has started to install the kitchen. So it's not fully done, which is why this is dirty.
Yeah.
But this is basically what our default kitchen looks like. It has some special features like this worktop area that you can pull out. Also has a dishwasher.
Nice.
And in general, a lot of storage space, right? So it's like, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
Also here we have a full oven. Here we have one that has carpet.
Oh yeah.
Right, so owners made small changes. In general, they're all very similar, but
it's a personal preference, after all, yeah.
This one is a presidential one, but here the owner is doing what we call self-renovation. So they have their own team, so they're not done with it yet.
This owner is going to make the renovations by himself, or?
I mean, not himself, but he has hired a team to do it.
Yeah.
So,
his own team, yeah. So every apartment in this wing is sold.
Yeah. So basically all those were sold from the beginning. This enabled us to do the project. So we did it like a crowdfunding, where if we hadn't sold all these apartments, the project would not have happened.
Yeah.
Because it's self-funded, right? We don't have a bank, we don't have a rich investor. We had to kind of, the group had to raise the funds.
A group project, yeah.
We also have another very nice apartment on this level because it's mine.
Oh! Show us your crib.
But here we can also see like a bathroom with power.
This is so nice.
So here the floor is a little bit different. And again, this is something that owners could choose. If they want to customize it a little bit, they can customize it.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful view on the mountain.
Look at this view, man.
This is amazing. This view.
Yeah.
You hit the jackpot.
I mean, I was the first to find it.
Yeah, I guess you have the advantage.
And then this is like combining. I don't know if you saw the one below. You can also do this with door or without a door. And then what's special here is there was a special area under the roof. So basically this goes up.
Oh, so there is a room there.
There's a bedroom up there.
And this.
Yes,
I love it.
Amazing.
Unfortunately, it's not so original. So, I mean, when I came to Bulgaria, like 9 years ago, I was looking for a base for myself. So I had a startup business. I had enough money that I didn't really need to work anymore. I was traveling the world, but I was living in Salzburg in Austria. And Austria is a very high tax country. So I was looking for a better place for taxation. And I looked around and I found out there's Bulgaria. It's in the EU, so you don't have problems with visa, and they have only 10% income tax, flat.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's many places around the world where you pay less taxes, but I think also Bulgaria is an interesting place, right? So I'm originally from Munich. I love the mountains. Bulgaria has a lot of mountains. It has a lot of nature. It has a lot of flights from Sofia Airport to all over Europe and to all over the world. So for me, this was an interesting place, and I decided I moved to Bansko. It's also not like Sofia, not like the capital where also people work a lot, but more like to a mountain resort where people ski and snowboard and go on the bikes and enjoy life, like a smaller place where everything is in walking distance. So this was, for me, why I came to Bulgaria, and I think this is still very true. There's still a lot of people that don't know what Bulgaria actually offers, right? And I think it offers a lot of opportunities for people that want to do something here. It's also growing very fast, right? It's getting more and more modern every year. So I think Bulgaria is a good place. And in Bansko, I built this community for digital nomads around a co-working space. We had about 150 members or so on average. I ran a big event there called Bansko Nomad Fest, where we got up to 750 people for 1 week to celebrate nomad life and entrepreneurship. And this was the basis for me to figure out what is version 2 of this, like what should I do next. And for me, what to do next was to have a big building where we have everything together, that we can really control the environment and provide something where you're surrounded by like-minded people. I'm not really a real estate guy, so it's like, and I have learned a lot of things about real estate and construction in the last 2 years that I didn't know that I ever wanted to learn. So I don't know if I'm going to do another project. I have another building closer to Dubnica in Malosello that could also become something interesting, but I also don't want to do things twice, right? So I don't think I will build another co-living space ever again. I mean, we're already building the best one, so it's hard to compete with yourself. But I think there's opportunities for other things. I'm thinking about families, for example. There's this idea of world schooling, where families travel together and also educate kids, need a place. I'm thinking of maybe like a winter base for RV people. There's lots of people that live in vans in the summer, but then what do you do in the winter? I'm thinking of elderly care, like what do you do with like old people when they need a little bit more assistance. I'm thinking of young professionals that maybe don't want to live in Sofia, but would be willing to commute, especially if they can work remotely. So I think there's many opportunities in buildings in Bulgaria. I just don't know if I want to continue to deal with construction people. And then we have, of course, also under the roof.
This was our floor.
So here there's one more owner that is doing self-renovation, which is why it's not ready. But when it's ready, it looks like this.
What a nice light.
Yeah,
this looks also a little bit different, right? So they had like these old wooden ceilings, and it felt like very smallish with the dark colors, but with this.
This is the original window?
This is the original window. Yeah. So here in block A, we're gonna keep these windows. In block B, we have to replace them.
Yeah.
And this is I'm most proud of. We were able to hide the hot water boiler here, right? So
under the sink?
Yes, in a lot of bathrooms we have them on the ceiling and they're very visible.
Standard.
So here we found one from Greece, special thing that gets hotter, so we could put it in there.
Wow.
And now it's basically invisible.
I didn't know such things existed. 606, this was the room. This was the room.
This is a bigger one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember this.
Аз съм супер кози. Искате да сте част от това.
Welcome home, baby.
Yeah.
Also here, I mean, this is just a fantastic view, right? It looks like a painting, basically.
It really looks like a painting here.
And then here, I mean, some of these rooms is always against the bathroom wall. If the owner wants a kitchen, then we always prepared it like this.
Yeah.
If the owner doesn't want a kitchen, it's hidden behind the plaster, so you can still later have all the outlets.
Yeah.
And you don't have the bathroom wall. Okay, the pool. So basically the pool initially looked like this. And this is what it should look like again, right? So we will repaint like the white ceiling and everything. We tested it with water at some point.
It holds it well.
It holds the water.
Do you know, is it fully functioning?
I mean, all the pumps and the
stuff,
filters, we all threw this away. So all this needs to be new. But the pool itself, meaning the water is in there. And of course this is great. And this is south, all right? So this is south facing, which means there will be enough heat. This is the area for the sauna. So basically there's 2 changing rooms, male and female. And then this is like the sauna. And what we want to do, we want to have the sauna facing this way and then the steam room facing the other way. So there's like this area, right? So there can be one very nice steam room and one very nice sauna. So, I mean, if you do a project like this, you always have surprises. Some of those surprises are good, some of them are not so good, right? Because normally when you build a building, you start from scratch, right? You have plans and you know exactly how much materials you need, how much it takes. Here, for the apartments, we also have plans. So for the apartments, it's easier, but for like the community areas, it's a little bit more difficult. And when they build this building, it's not like everything is according to plans. I mean, we don't have the plans, but even if we had the plans, a lot of the walls are not 90 degrees. Sometimes they run cables in places where they shouldn't run them, and we have to chase them. We found like, I mean, it's not really a hidden area, but over the ceiling of the lobby area, there's another big area, maybe 1,000 square meters, that we could use in the future. So there's things like this. Also, what we learned is how they did the construction. So when they did the construction, they were actually pouring the concrete for one level, and then they were building a whole level up to the next floor on like pillars. And so this is a different way of construction than how you build a building now. Right now you would have the steel and concrete frame first, and then pour the floors, and here they poured the floors and then lifted them up. And this means also that some of this is not totally exact, right? So there's a little bit of areas that you have to level if you want to do things. So we did this in the apartment blocks, and for some apartments this was like 15 centimeters difference in level. Like from one end to the other end, and of course everything should be on the same plane. I think when we go down in the tunnels in the basement, there's many areas there. I'm not sure what they do. Maybe there were like little gnomes living there in the past. So let's first look a little bit on the basement, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our favorite part, of course. This is a new place for us. We haven't been here.
This is basically where all the like ventilation and filters and tanks will go.
This place is massive.
We removed the old stuff already, mostly. And then this is where they're going to install the new stuff.
Yeah. I guess some kind of a big machine was here.
Yeah, I mean, this was ventilation. And then also it has heating for the pool, and there's like filtration tanks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because the pool is right above us.
Yeah.
Yep.
The toilet,
And then if you go back in here, this basically connects to the tunnels where we have been before.
Oh, is this the tunnel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Right, so it goes left and right. So you can get under block B and under block A from here. Yeah, I know it's scary, don't go there.
By the way, after so much time, are you familiar with each and every corner of this building?
Yes, much better than the architect we asked to draw us plans. So I always point out that things are different. We kept some of the old stuff, so this is old bed frames. And I want us to build like a big outdoor stage with this.
Outdoor stage?
Yeah, like a big arch. And then also we have a lot of like the wood. And this is also, we want to have an art project, like a big bear made of those things and over the bar.
Nice.
And then here, the same thing that I pointed out before, that we have all these vertical shafts where we can run the water pipes and electricity, which makes it really easy. So here, this is the old rooms.
Yeah, this is authentic.
The guys are removing stuff from the top floor to the lowest floor, so this is why they store some stuff here now.
Yeah.
But they have started to basically take out all the things, all the furniture. So if we go up, we should see a little bit less trash. So here, if we go down, we get under the the block again into the maintenance tunnels.
Yeah.
And then here we can see the separation, right? We're separating the stone from the metal and take things out. Here also the bathrooms now, like all the toilets and the sinks. And
everything is removed. Yeah.
Here's the old fitness equipment.
Ah, here it is.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
So I think some of the volunteers are working out here from time to time.
You send them just here. Nice.
But they could also just carry stuff. What we can see here when I was talking about leveling, I don't know if you feel this here, but the floors here are not as even as in the other areas.
I can feel
and
it.
we're gonna put like about 5 centimeters of leveling material on it. It's like a plaster mortar type of thing. This was also interesting because we had like 2 professors here from Sofia and they were drilling lots of holes everywhere to see if we can add this amount of weight to the structure.
You should know if the structure is going to hold. But isn't this the logic that if the other wing is okay with such amount of plaster and sand, this is going to be also?
Yeah. I mean, they made an estimate for the whole building, but they were drilling everywhere just to see like what type of concrete they used back then.
Mm-hmm.
So the structure is stable everywhere?
The structure will stand here forever. It's like we will long be gone. We are back. I don't know if is there anything else that we missed or that you didn't see?
I don't know, but it was a really great tour.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a great tour.
Oh, there's our Christmas tree with the lights. So initially I wanted to have the big Christmas tree with lights. And then the guys made some calculations that we needed 2 kilometers of light. and of course, this was not possible. Plus like a much bigger cherry picker.
Yeah, so you chose the little one.
So we decided this year we do the small one, next year we do the big one.
Yeah.
Also because we couldn't get a big enough machine because now it's like all muddy. Right, so to bring like a big crane, you can't do this when it's so muddy. So we're gonna do this in the summer, put the lights up, and then leave them up. Are you guys staying overnight, or are you staying in Bansko, or driving back to Sofia?
No. We just came here for the day, and we're going back to Sofia.
But
okay, because if you want to sleep in a cold, unheated room, I have several of them.
We've done that.
No problem. Okay, for the authentic experience.
Yeah, next time I think.
И така, драги зрители,
Чухте ни как пълтечим на английски?
да оттегнем. Fucking hard.
Чухте ни как пълтечим на английски и може би видяхте едно много различно видео. Аз искам само да кажа, че понякога е хубаво да вкарваш малко разнообразие в контента си. Това е едно доста различно видео. Това казах и на влога.
Обичам контента си.
Ако не знаете за влога, можете да го видите след този ъгъл. За първи път правим такава съпоставка преди и след, буквално.
Кажете какво мислите за този тип видеа и дали имате желание да виждате още такива, в които разказваме историята на дадена сграда.
И не забравяйте, вече мога да обявим тази локация. Coliving Semkovo. Ау.
И не сме спонсорирани, да знаете.
Да.
Както първо, че я намерихме, второ, когато снимахме видео, трето, когато дойдохме и прекарахме 24 часа тук в тази сграда.
Криениците.
Всъщност тази сграда е наша, не е на Матиас.
Абсолютно.
Така мисля, да. Той ще го види това. Обявявам го тук. Наша.
Говори по-силно, като е ваша.
Ама аз имам микрофон. Добре, наша е тази сграда.
Добре.
This my yawn.
Да.
Какво е това, бе? Какво е това, бе? Нема стане.
Бата, защо лягаш под малка?
Искам да покажа пръса на стане.
Иначе беше някакво добро видео беше за момента. Една тъпотия нямаше, защо трябваше да се изсерете върху всички.